Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoom into Wine. It's time for the show and your host, Ian Blackburn.
Good evening, everybody. It's Ian Blackburn. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday and time to taste some wine with some great people. Every Wednesday we get together on Zoom into Wine around a grape variety, a region, a wine style, and we pull together some amazing people to talk about the wines. Tonight we're doing a little show on Lambrusco. And it's me and my friend Gary at this time. We'll say hi. And we'll taste some nice wines together, and the rest of the folks will be joining us either later on. We got another one coming in right now, Gary. So at Zoom into Wine each week, it's a different topic, and we've never done Lambrusco before, so it's fun to be able to pull this together. How are you, Thomas? Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Good to see you. We got a cast of 3 here.
All right.
I wasn't going to do this one, but Nico insisted that we had to, so here we are.
Nico, good taste, man. You have good taste, buddy.
That's my favorite. So,
all right. Well, let's go.
And this is Macy.
Hi, Macy.
You've seen me before.
And you guys, they've been on a couple of Zooms with you before. So,
all right. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing it. Thank you so much. Let me see if my slideshow is going to cooperate there. Hold on one moment. Apparently I closed it. Here we go. Boom. Nope, that didn't work. One more second. I think my Windows crashed is what happened. Let me reopen that. All right. Okay, so I'm open. Are you guys open there? Are you guys there? I didn't close the thing, did I? Zoom is still there.
We're good. I'm getting arm twisted on wine and glass here. Which one are you starting with, Ian?
Oh, that's a good question. Which one do you guys have open and want to start with?
We got both of them here.
Okay, and Gary, do you have both of them?
I only opened one. Let me hold on.
The Sorbara.
We have the Marco Gianaroli.
We're going to start with the Sorbara.
The Sorbara, okay. Let me do this.
Yeah. You could start with either of them, but the Sorbara is the one I'm going to talk about first, and we'll move through them fairly quickly once we talk about how they're made. Let me see. All right, Hannah, let's splice it right here. Zoom into Wine. Every Wednesday we get together and taste great wines with some great people. We got a couple of our top clients on the Zoom with us tonight talking about Lambrusco, and I'm excited to be able to do this with you guys. We've never done Lambrusco before, so here we go. Lambrusco is a sparkling wine. Made sparkling in northern Italy, and we're going to talk about the entire category for a second. You guys go ahead and get ready. We've got to taste 2 different Lambruscos tonight. The Sorbara is what we're going to start with, but Lambrusco isn't just one grape. It's a family of native varieties. Basically, these are wild grapes from Emilia-Romagna, and this goes back to like Roman civilization. So there are a lot of different subspecies, and they're very specific varieties. Each little town might even have a different style. The one extreme is that the Lambrusco di Sorbara, which is on the left here, has a wide variation of colors. There's white and red grapes on the same cluster. That's why the colors tend to be a little softer. Today we're going to try a Grasparossa as well that has a very thick, almost chewy, bitter type of table grape But they're big. They're almost perfect looking. They're very tasty looking. And that is the Grasparossa. So we're going to try both of those. But there's also a grape called Salamino, and there's some others that might even be like wild hybrids of each other, because they're all out there, living in nature, and they've kind of developed their own personalities based on the neighborhood, and the producers may or may not even be working with the same subset of species. Where is Emilia-Romagna? Well, if you go north from Tuscany, it's like this amazing production zone that gives us amazing products like prosciutto and great cheese and great olive oil and great sports cars. You've got the Ferrari plant in Emilia-Romagna, and there's some amazing history here, but a lot of hardworking farmers producing a lot of product for the country of Italy itself, and so much that they can export a considerable amount. The wine is made Charmant. That is a tank that would be used for Charmant production, basically a pressurized tank. Primary fermentation creates the base wine. Secondary fermentation happens under pressure in the stainless steel tank. The CO2 is trapped, creates bubbles, bottled under pressure, and that is how Charmant takes place. So instead of a big bottle or a single bottle, it's a single tank. The idea is that it preserves the freshness, the bright acidity, but also makes it approachable, and potentially, a win here is how affordable it keeps things. Primary fermentation, I think that's supposed to be an F. That's the base wine. Secondary wine in the tank, traps the bubbles, bottled. I think you got it. All right. Now there's also a plethora of styles. Secco means dry. Semi-secco, off dry. Dolce means sweet. Frizzante, lightly sparkling, very traditional. Spumante means full sparkling, more pressure. So you could have any one of these variables on a label. And I believe these are all Frizzante. Lambrusco de Sorbara are DOP 2023. This is from Modena in Emilia-Romagna. The Zanasi family, this is our bestseller. They are really a high quality, high ethos producer. It is brought in by Oliver McCrum, who only brings in wines that are grown under the best conditions. A lot of ethos, meaning organic, natural, no heavy use of herbicides, pesticides. They don't pay for any of the, biodynamic Demeters type of stuff. They're not trying to do any of that. They just are a small family operation, but they do things the old school way, and they've been around for a long time, and they have a very good reputation, and it's one of the better efforts in the category. Family owned and operated. So this is, like I said, made from the Sorbara. Tom, I think you have that with your family there. Gary, did you end up doing this one or the next one?
I'm on the next one.
All right, very good. Well, this one's 95 points by Wine Enthusiast, which is a pretty a big score for a Lambrusco, but I think the description is quite good. Highlight is that it's kind of got that raspberry. It's kind of got a tartness, a youthful. Think of raspberry yogurt when you smell this wine. I think it has that kind of, just preserved fruit. There's some notes here of wild rose. I kind of like that. Forest herb aromatics. Sure, that's kind of interesting. Little pine needles, little things that you would just kind of find foraging through the forest. Bright fruit and tartness, energetic acidity, and lingering savory finish. I like this wine a lot because it's not too sweet. It does have some of that fruitiness, and on a warm summer afternoon, perfect like right now, this is a fantastic way to watch the sunset, eat a pizza, have a burger. It doesn't have to be too pretentious, great with cheese. Now, the wonderful pairing in Emilia-Romagna, if you go there, the prosciutto is one of the stars of the region. This and prosciutto, and they make this little, it's kind of like a ravioli without anything in the center of it. It's like a piece of bread that's puffed out, or pastry that's puffed out, and they make this right out of the oven. It comes to the table, you break it in two, steam comes out of the center, you pick up the prosciutto, and you have a glass of prosecco. And there's a couple of restaurants that do that so well that, in fact, the one restaurant I've gone to twice now, they'll have 200 people waiting, not really in line, but kind of like they give you a number, and you come in, you eat, you move through. It's a fairly big spot, upstairs, downstairs. I think it's 3 stories, and they just burn right through. So go there. Looks terrible, like, oh God, we could be waiting for hours. I think I waited about 40 minutes. Totally worth it. And really a delicious way to enjoy Lambrusco. You'll get a whopping $22 for this wine. And again, one of the better names, brought in by one of the better importers. These are the people that bring in Medio Pepe and some really top end stuff. This is their highest volume selling wine, and I think it's a delicious value. I typically bring 10 cases of Zanasi in at a time. Sometimes they have a third version. Right now there's just 2. I've got 20 to 40 bottles of each available. And I do recommend all the Lambruscos that we carry. I do try to carry first let me tell you the reason I carry so many. Gary, can you guess why I carry so many Lambrusco? My wife loves Lambrusco. And so I have to have a hearty selection, and she really enjoys it. So we take it to the Hollywood Bowl. We take it for picnics. This is like her house wine. And she drinks it all year round. Hey, before I continue, we have now launched the trip to Napa, trip to Sonoma. Gary, I know you've been patient. We are still working on New Zealand, Washington, Spain, and Tuscany / Barolo, soon to come. But Napa and Sonoma are up and active, and it's a super deluxe version for next year. All right. This is a brand that I bring in from a teeny little importer. And he tells me this is like the best Grasparossa in the marketplace. So I'll be interested to hear what you think. I think the packaging looks like a nice package.
This is what grape juice looks like.
And Emilia-Romagna is still the same place. This guy was started in 1951. small, 8 hectares, about 60,000 bottles, certified organic. Everything is done entirely by hand. I've got a couple of those. Some of these families are really doing it old school. Also, looks like they're working with various. Sometimes they turn it into a sales item, like, oh look, 70% of the energy is self-produced, and that might be because they're off the grid and they need to produce their own energy. But this one has a couple of different grape varieties: Pignoletto, Malbo Gentile, and Trebbiano di Modena being some of the other grape varieties that are produced by this producer. Looks very similar to the other. Pretty restrained property. 60,000 bottles. And there's the solar panels. That's 60,000. Is that 5,000 cases? 60,000 divided by 12. Sorry, my math brain is not on today. 5,000 cases. Okay. That's not a lot. I'm doing the math too, just to figure out how much revenue. That producer might be doing $100,000, selling it into the 3-tier system. So pretty modest. But maybe if you own the property since 1951, you can do that. Charmat method, nothing different in the winemaking process. Just the grape variety, the thicker skin. It's got a deeper, darker, richer, more cherry, less cranberry, more blackberry. I would be curious to know with Thomas and your family, which one you prefer.
So it depends on who you talk to.
Okay.
Mirco loves the Grasparossa. This is what he thinks of when he thinks of Lambrusco. Macy prefers the Sorbara. I think they have different purposes. Like if I were to sit and be on, I don't know, a beach in Maui, watching the sunset over Lanai, I would want the Sorbara. If I would be having food or just basically having a hell of a good time, I'd probably go for the Grasparossa. So
Cool.
it's a matter of taste, right? But I think they both have their places.
Well, I think a fun night starts with the Sorbara and moves into the Grasparossa. And that's why I envision it. And in fact, that's what we did at the restaurant. We started with Sorbara and we moved into the deeper, darker style. And these things don't have a lot of alcohol. You're looking at 11.5. So it's pretty reasonable
Mom, watch
to
it.
crush a couple of bottles with a table of 4. And this one carries just a slightly elevated price at 28. I'm going to go into the website and just look at the other wines real quickly that we have and tell you about a few of the others. But for future Zooms next week, I'm doing a really nice showcase of some premium stuff from Australia. And then we move into a top tier flight of Paso wines, a great selection, a variety of Sangiovese, a really our selection of stuff that we're showing in Spain is going to be amazing, and it's a very affordable session, but you're going to get great bang for your buck in Spain. And then some of my best values from France as well. That takes us to the end of September, but at Zoom Into Wine, we've got all the Zooms laid out until December, and they're all priced and ready to go, with the exception of our top wines of the year, which I won't decide until the first week of November. Now I'm going to go into the website, just look at Lambrusco, and tell you about some of the other ones that we have. So what I do is go into the wine shop, then I go over to sparkling wine, and here's a whole category of Lambrusco. And I have 7 right now. I probably had as many as 9. But they do go through, and some of these guys do run out. This was my top selling wine. I can't find the importer anymore. So I lost the Grasparossa from this producer, but I still have the Sorbara. Really good. Love this. And this was Alice's favorite, but I'm down to my last few bottles, and the company that imported this wine is no longer in business. So maybe they'll reappear. I do think they will reappear because I think this wine is owned by the guy who owns Italy. So it's brought into America. Here are the 2 Zanasis. They're the same price, Sorbara and Grasparossa, and I keep those in pretty good supply. This one is definitely on the smaller end of the spectrum and brought in by a really high-end importer, small importer. So I gave it a shot, and sounds like you guys enjoyed it. And I haven't yet sampled this wine with Alice, but she will be tasting this wine tonight with me from the same bottle here. The one I wanted to show tonight is this one, but this is a super teeny producer. I want to just open it up and show it to you. The importer was expecting the container to arrive in time, been delayed, bada bada. It's my life here, but this package actually looks pretty normal. But this is a really old lady, and the family works in the garment industry, and this label is a piece of fabric that's hand applied, and every single label is like a little different angle. The top is put on by hand. This is really good, and in fact, I'm sure I'm gonna be charged more when the new thing comes in. It's just the way this importer works. They introduce it, they get people loving it, and then they start raising the price. But this is super delicious, and this one is 100% the Salamino, and this producer doesn't use any preservative, any sulfur, and it's pretty stylish, and cool, and very savory, very savory. So I love the package. I love the authenticity, but it's almost out of stock, and when it comes back, I'll buy 3 cases, and it may take a year to go away. It may take a week. I'm not sure, but it is certainly one that we've enjoyed several bottles of.
Ian, is this the one that's in the middle between the other two? When you earlier you had the Sorbana on one end and the Grasparossa on the other, and is this one in the middle of those 3 styles? Or am I missing something?
I would say that's a good way to put it. Yeah, Salamino's. I think Grasparossa is a little more dense, dark, got kind of like a fruit skin character to it, where this one's just a a little bit more kind of red winey instead of so sparkly.
Yeah.
It's got it's not as light as the Sorbara, and it's not as dark as the Grasparossa, but I do think it's also a little more earthy. And so those are just some of the extremes there. I get the Pedroni from a really good importer, and it's pretty smartly priced. I do believe this producer is a little larger in production, but a good solid effort. And this one is a blend of grapes, and they just call it Lambrusco. They're not even telling you that it's from a particular one grape variety. This one is Grasparossa as well, and this one says it's 100% Salamano. So this says Lambrusco, Grasparossa, and that one says Salamano. So I got to ask a question: what the hell's going on? But this is the package here is pretty sharp, a little stylish. I think this is also a little larger production, and frankly, I don't enjoy it as much as some of the others on the website. And that's my honest take on it. I do like it, I just don't like it as much. And that is my little show on Lambrusco. I hope you guys enjoyed the wines and enjoy the night and enjoy the sunset. I think it's just happening right now. And I will hopefully see you guys very soon.
Ian, thanks so much. I don't think I've ever had, honestly, Lambrusco in my life. And I'm not a young man, so that's a good experience. I want to thank you for always expanding our boundaries. It's always great.
I thank your son for twisted your arm and getting you involved.
Yeah, he's very happy right now.
We sent for this Zoom. We sent Lambrusco like all over the country. We had about 6 different participants, but I love to do these with different ideas, and being able to send it out as a whole bottle, I think has good value. And I just wanted to be able to make a little Zoom video that we can hang on our website. But the category is definitely kind of growing again. I think Lambrusco really became kind of a homogenous bad, and the small producers that we're able to find now, importation got better, containers got better, refrigeration on the containers got better. That's why they're here now. Before they would just cook coming over here because they needed.
I think that my impression was when I was Nico's age was that they were pretty bad, and I never, I guess, went away from the impression. But we've thoroughly enjoyed these tonight. Thank you.
Pleasure, guys. Gary, take care.
All right.
I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.